Kyle here from All Media Reviews. Take two on this video. I went to the doctor today. I was doing it anyway. But here to do some Kevin Gilbert related stuff. I finally finished... Yeah, actually, let me just... Okay. I'll talk about the estate... It was like last week. I don't know when it was. More of the KMG Archive Series were coming. There's still more to come, but two more releases just came out yesterday on the 12th of December. One of them that was announced like a little week ago, Giraffe live at Cactus Club 1989, which was March 4th, 1989. In the announcement, or like in the recording, it said the album, which was supporting, you know, it was not that long before A View From Here came out, and I always struggled trying to figure out the exact dates, but in the recording, Kevin says, you know, the new album should be out the 1st of next month. I think it was April 1st, 1989 was when the release of A View From Here, the second Giraffe album. But it was supporting, of course, the power of suggestion, and the track list on this show at Cactus Club is only material from Power of Suggestion, that's the downside to this. And Giraffe this is Giraffe's last show ever. I mean, you don't count the Genesis thing, the Genesis tribute at Prog Fest, because that was like only partial Giraffe. You had Stan Cody and Kevin, that was it. But it's all material from... Well, it's a combination. It's This Warm Night, Image Maker, Suits Me Fine, Staring Into Nothing. I'm looking at the stuff from Power of Suggestion. Last Thing on Your Mind, and then it includes the Tired Old Man Suite, which that's kind of the biggest price of admission there. Nightmares, the song that was done for that Night of the Creeps movie Martha Davis did. Because of Views on there, The World Just Gets Smaller. So... But, you know, we don't have, like, a quote-unquote official live album from Giraffe, so this is, in effect, the first official. I mean, there's some live performances on the DVD, the extra bonus DVD, and This Warm Night was included, of course, on the Giraffe compilation. So, so that's the first of the KMG series that came out yesterday, and then the other is the Thud Alternate, which, you know... I mean, you know, the thing, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit more in my review, but, you know, you have... Actually, let me grab one of those. You have, of course, you have this guy, which has the two. Actually, this is the 20th anniversary of Thud. It came out in 2015. The standard Thud. Then it has the two bonus discs, which includes like Miss Broadway and a lot of alternate mixes. And it has Big Heart, which is a Robert Ferris song. But so the alternate, you know, Thud is not going to have supposedly anything on here. I guess find out the difference. But I guess, you know, Bruno went on to the Facebook group today. It was pretty long. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm not going to read it. But talking about how Kevin talked about how there were all these different mixes that Kevin did and versions of Thud that he did. He wasn't going to release them all, but he gave him one, and it's like a completely different. It's a completely different thing, you know, of course. So, but of course, you know, then there's, you know, of course, I've got all these different. This is the Thud with Cashmere, you know. There's just, you know, Thuds like The Shaming of the True and Toy Man to a lesser extent. There's many times it's been released, but the versions are different, of course. And Kevin was a perfectionist, so. But the Thud Alternate track list includes. When You Give Your Love to Me, rough mix. Goodness Gracious, hard loop mix. Joytown, weird hand mix. Waiting, automated mix. T for One, alt bass mix. Shadow Self version 2, mix 1. Tears of Audrey, Ringo mix. I know it's alluding to Ringo Starr, probably not. Shrug, Because of Me and You, mix 1. All Fall Down, alt horn mix, alternative horn mix. And Song for a Dead Friend, piano mix. Cashmere, Uncontrolled. There's a lot of extra, so there's a different mix of Cashmere and Waiting, the other version. I'm pretty sure that, I mean, the way these are labeled, God, Kevin's site or on Populous One needs to change, because everything is like this massive font size. Oh, that's the problem. It's my browser was all screwed up when I went to there. I don't know. Anyway, I'm curious about this. I'm to really understand, especially on the 2 bonus discs on this, what some of the differences are, because I've said I've never done a full in-depth review of this whole thing, and I was listening to it the last couple of years and wanted to go back and do that. I should be write down notes for everyone specifically, and some arrangements on this I prefer over Thud by a lot. Some of the instrument, there's a saxophone mix, there's different upbeat, heavier sections on some of the songs. So what I'm not sure about is when we get the alternate mix, what the difference in some of those mixes and the mixes on the second and third disc of the standard Thud songs. There aren't too many other than Kashmir. Big Heart's not on there. So moving on to the book from Lorenzo Barbagli, which, again, originally published in 2016, I guess, but it was only in Italian, and it was a digital, there was a digital version, a Kindle version, only in Italian, and he tried to get a campaign going to actually have it translated and published in English, but it didn't happen. But eventually he was able to do that. Finally came out and he updated it just about whatever it was, 3-4 weeks ago. I got this. Finally finished reading through it, and it, like I said, it talks about Call Me Kai and the KMG series and all the stuff that's come out since the original book he wrote here. All the stuff that's in this bag here, you look at my collection, it's all included in here. Everything that I have, for the most part. I don't know if there's anything in this book that isn't mentioned. So it's kind of it is not just it says a introduction or whatever. It's a thorough a thorough dictation of Kevin Gilbert's primary career. Some of the secondary. He doesn't talk about when he was going to work with Dream Theater. It didn't happen, of course. And there's, some stuff is just vaguely mentioned. The covers he did, of course. He didn't talk about how he covered, on KLOS, Pleasant Valley Sunday, little stuff like that hasn't even been released. It's anything that's officially released, and it tells the story. There's quotes in here from, Bill Bottrell and, of course, Mark Bonilla. Yeah, Mark Bonilla. I'm trying to think of some of the other quotes. Stuff was, taken from articles, of course, that have been published about everything that chronicled Kevin's experiences in life. There's 1 or 2 quotes from Sintra Wilson. So some of that is just sort of a documented and consolidation of the content that I've seen online. Some of it is a little commentaries. A lot of it is analysis of the songs, which I'm not really that good at. Being that I'm not the most kind of versed and experienced musician, think of things from a technical standpoint. Lorenzo's definitely more so, I believe. And so he kind of gives a better description and the differences on some of the versions of songs, what they compare to and stuff. There was one song he talked about the Strong Enough, of course, the song off of the Tuesday Night Music Club that Kevin co-wrote, and then he did an alternate version that ended up on the covers disc from a couple of years, a year ago, a year and a half ago. He mentioned it's known as, I believe there's a version that's known as the Pet Shop Boys mix, I think, and he didn't mention that, but everything from Thud to Caviar to, I suppose the Call Me Kai stuff isn't in-depthly talked about every track, and that would have been a lot longer. And he was talking about how he could have probably done that, but he didn't want to, But he summarized a lot of the best tunes on there. And, of course, the Nuts and Bolts compilations. It's thorough. It's definitely written from someone who's very thorough, a thorough collector, whatever there are. 1,200 of us around the globe, or even less than that basically eat up everything from Kevin Gilbert. Interesting picture, of course. It does, go over that pretty thoroughly, although the only thing I'm not aware of some of the stuff in terms of the stories, and he was kind of careful on choosing his words on how the series of events and reputation and quotes he took in here were just kind of like third party. He wasn't he didn't get to interview Nick DiVirgilio, I don't think, for this. He interviewed Leonard his name is Fragaman. He's someone has an extensive and long-term collection of Kevin Gilbert and photos, especially because I know he thanked him, I believe, in the foreword. Leonard's great. Leonard Fagerman. I'm not sure where he's from. I think it's somewhere in Europe, maybe South America. I forget. But he's just a massive. He makes me seem like nothing, really. I mean, not nothing, but I don't feel like I'm much of a fan when I know the stuff he has and all the collection of stories and experiences and just content and stuff he has, of photos and probably his collection of recordings. It does include a lot of the stuff that Kevin played that he didn't sing on, in the back. Mark Bonilla's solo stuff. What was the other one? Oh, J. Scott Smith has a solo album called Tales from the Tree Fort, which has a different version of, what was it? One of the songs that was rearranged. One of the Giraffe tunes, because he was J. Scott Smith with Giraffe. It's unsung, which I haven't heard. I don't know if I ever get to hear. Nick DiVirgilio's Karma. Anything and everything he could basically come up with that Kevin did. I mean, I haven't even heard the Giants tracks alternate version of Suit Fugi. I never got that Giant thing. I always thought they just stuck on Suit Fugi, but it's actually a different version. You probably could go on to Discogs and try to find that CD at some point. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, it's for someone like myself who has taken in as much of Kevin Gilbert's stuff and information and stories and collection recordings over the last almost 20 years. It's kind of a documentation just to refresh my memory or to give a little more detail about what I've read and know about and in what I have in my collection. But from a standpoint of someone who is only just sort of mid-level fan that maybe just has Shaming of the True, Toy Matinee, and Thud, and maybe has listened to Giraffe, this is a good resource, be a very good resource if you want to hear more. Though 80 to 90% or more of the fans of Kevin Gilbert beyond Toy Matinee are probably gonna want to be buying most of everything that they can get. Unfortunately, a lot of it. The thing I've noticed is a lot of people that want to buy Kevin Gilbert stuff now beyond Toy Matinee or that's kind of it. They or just hear it. They struggle to find it. CDs especially. Unfortunately, so you kind of gotta hope. Toy Matinee, Thud, the standard version of Thud, and NRG are all on Spotify, so at least they can hear it that way. The hope is that when the estate finally finishes the whole end game and the multi-disc Shaming of the True, they're going to put a lot of this stuff on streaming services, including Spotify. A lot of this stuff, a lot of the Giraffe stuff, a lot of these extra tracks maybe from Thud, that would be a real big hurdle. And the Call Me Kai stuff and the Nuts and Bolts stuff, that stuff will end up make more widely available so people can discover his catalog beyond just a couple of the albums that he got known for, so yeah, I mean, I would have liked to have written this book myself. I don't think I could have done, I don't know if it's as good of a job. If I wrote this book, it would definitely be more, I'd probably have more of a bias. I'd probably be a little less objective, just habitually the way I write and give my perspective, but I'm not saying that I would never try to do something like that. I don't know. I just don't know if I'm the person to do it. I'm more the buffet. I like this album, this album, this album. You all that love it more than me can get more of the details kind of person. But I've always admired Lorenzo. He's a great music fan and a great writer, even though he writes basically in Italian. And he's published many works, including a Genesis book and a book on sort of modern prog. You want to call it alternative prog. The Mars Volta guys were on the cover of that, and he's other progressive rock books he's published, and so he's a very accomplished and skilled, and he has a lot more credibility in terms of publishing works beyond, you know, my little credibility of publishing stuff in my blog, you know, and whatever here on YouTube, if you want to call this as content. But yeah, it's good that he got this finally out. I hope more people buy it. But yeah, so it's called The Best of Everything. I guess I can try leaving a link. I don't know. I got it through I forget the name of the website, but how many copies were available. But I could actually go for getting another copy. And it's only like 146 pages, and a lot of it is just his catalog. Because what this really was this was not some long-winded, massive essay. I mean, he would have liked to have done that. He probably could do that. But he just wanted to sort of consolidate and chronicle Kevin's career. His KevinGilbert.com has some of that, but it's been through different various stages of changes and reconstruction. And a lot of this stuff, while it was on there, it's not as detailed, at least. And so it's a pretty thorough. I mean, this isn't 100%, but it's like 98% accurate, up to date, before the new KMG series stuff comes out. Just came out this past week, so that's it for that. I have to find another book to read. The Stephen Wilson book I might go back to, or I got Paper Girls. Been reading the emails from Brian K. Vaughan from a series called Spectators, but I'm gonna try and make another video or two today. There is one album that, you know, I am tempted to try to talk more about, that is not a 2023 album, as it turns out. It's that I think I mentioned it. The Pneumatic Transit have a new album called Little Trinket, something like that, and I've been able to listen to it, and it's coming out sometime in probably January, February, but I'm not sure I'm going to go ahead and do the whole review thing just yet, and I may have to just get in touch with, his name is Jeff Zampillo, to go ahead and do that. But I can say that I already have a leader in my clubhouse for 2024, because I've only listened to it a couple times. I've been kind of focusing on 2023 stuff, and 78 for the Albums of the Year series, but it's a pretty big thing, thumbs up. So, but anyway, thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and we'll see you next time.